Today, we're going to share some of the common spiritual practices that's already available in our lives. And also, I will explain some of the common lightning or enlightening experiences that you have experienced. And where do we actually stand? This will help you to obtain some awareness about the spirituality, about your idea of enlightenment, and hopefully help you to dispel and release some of the misperception towards spirituality. Let's look at some of the slides that I collated together. Everybody is on a spiritual path, whether you're aware or not. A common question that I received is, which religion do you belong? Or what is your denomination? My answer is, there isn't any denomination, or I do not belong to any spirituality or any religion group. The word spirituality itself, it actually creates separation, but for the sake of understanding or helping you to understand what are the paths available, we do use the term spiritual path, spirituality to differentiate some of the practice or some of the group of people that they categorize themselves as spiritual versus those who are non-spiritual. If you look at this picture, it highlights the major 5 religions that is all around the world. The 5 religions are Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism. These 5 religions that they cover about more than 70% of the population on the globe. We, of course, have 16% of people who are not in religions, and then we have some of the minority groups and rituals and cultures around the world. And I added this non-duality group, and just for you to be aware where non-duality actually stands, as we will talk about it in detail in a moment. And I highlighted Hinduism and Buddhism. That is because these are the 2 cultures that I heavily involved. As I mentioned before, I was born as a Buddhism, and in my later years, I practiced yoga and meditation, which derived from the Hinduism culture, the idea of Brahman, that I am Brahman. And in the practice of Buddhism, they also emphasis on meditation. So if we look at the major practices of each culture, each religion, they more or less follow one main idea, that is worship of God. Whatever God or deity that you recognize in your culture. For example, the Islam, their God is Allah, that is to follow Allah's teaching and strive for righteousness living, and that including daily prayer, fasting during Ramadan, and a pilgrimage to Mecca. This is similar to Judaism. They also practice religious rituals, ethical behavior, and the study of Jewish law. So we commonly say that whichever religion that you belong to, the essence is the same. It's follow the higher teaching and find your truth, finding love, finding peace, finding light. And however, it is worthwhile to note that some of the teaching has been passed on for thousands of years, which means it has been rewritten, or it has been updated. It has been translated, interpreted with the human mind, with the interpretation or interference of the human mind. That is, the essence of the teaching might have been divisioned, might have been divided into different stream of method. For example, even Buddhism, we have eight branches of Buddhism teaching in China, and this is different to Tibetan Buddhism. It's really profound. If you look into each system, the difference is in the practice, what you do on a daily basis. Some focus on meditation, other focus on physical practice, such as yoga, asana. Asana itself is a physical practice to attain higher liberation, if I may say. So as other religious practice through prayer, through devotional services, it all has one key purpose. And this purpose is to be close to God, to realize God in the self, in this bodily life, so that we can unite with God eventually. And so that we could go to heaven. And so this gives you, or gives us, an overview of some of the major practice around us, because life is all around people. People belong to certain community, belong to certain culture. They practice certain rituals, certain spiritual practices, and we respect all religious and spiritual practices. So in essence, there is no difference in terms of what you do, because everyone who is in or who is follow certain kind of a practice, they're after something, they're seeking for something. What are they seeking for? Some look for money, some look for sex, some look for power, some look for knowledge, some look for this euphoria experience, some look for enlightenment. So here are the two major parts that I'm going to explain. Buddhism and Hinduism, look them into detail and help us to understand why we practice this. Buddhism. Many of you already are aware of the Four Noble Truths. Number one is dukkha. Dukkha highlights the nature of life. Life is full of suffering. Everybody that I have known, that you have known, has gone through certain kind of suffering, struggles. It's very rare somebody who is not fully enlightened does not suffer. The character might have been quite easygoing, quite relaxed about things, but the body still goes through certain suffering, pain, let's say, or fear of death. If the life might have been a very smooth journey, then the person might have this experience of fear of death. He or she does not want to go because life's too good, or they can't let go of their younger generation, their family members, husband and wife. They don't want to leave them alone. They feel like they abandoned them by him leaving the body. And that is the nature of our lives. And next, it explains, samudaya explains the nature of suffering. Suffering comes from attachment, comes from desire, comes from cravings. We crave food, we crave shelter, we crave material comfort, we crave love, we crave calm, peace, samadhi. We are attached to these physical experiences. This deems to suffer. Unfortunately, the third noble truth says that there is an end to this suffering. Non-self. When you attain non-self, there would be no more suffering. And how? So the fourth noble truth explains how it highlights or prescribes the eightfold path, which will allow you, if you follow, if you practice daily, and you breathe that eightfold path, the noble path, and eventually, hopefully, attain full liberation. What are the eightfold paths? Number one, right understanding. Number two, the right thought. Number three, right speech, right action, right livelihood, the right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Now, that's a full list of right for doing, righteousness doing. Only saints can do that. Only saints. Most of us, we are not. So you can see this, the Buddhism path or the Buddha path. It's quite rigid way of living. Whichever umbrella a Buddhist follows, it does follow very, very I would say it's not a necessary a easy way of living. Even Rinpoches, even Nama, those who reincarnate continuously in the Tibetan culture, they follow the path, the teaching of Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means if I attained enlightenment and I reincarnate, I share my knowledge, my enlightenment, my light with my community, with my people. I help others to reach enlightenment as well. So Bodhisattva, that if you look at those Nama or Rinpoche in the Tibetan culture, they once recognized at the age of 2 or 4, very little young boy. We talk about women in another video. You don't see any women enlightened or recognized as the highest position in the traditional Buddha practice. So these boys, once recognized as a spiritual leader, they were immediately brought into the monastery. They will begin to live the monk life, and they go on a very, 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 very rigid training process. So it's not a necessary an easy way of living. When they're born as an avatar, I would say not necessarily, but you might do some of your research and readings and finding more information than this body, can humbly know. And that's Buddhism. It does focus on the number one, cultivating wisdom. Number two, ethical conduct. Number three, developing discipline through this eightfold path. Would I want to be a Buddhist or an authentic Buddhist? Perhaps not. We will see what happens to this body. Next is the yogic path, the Hinduism in India, that they actually developed this full path of yoga. The full path yoga is everyone or each one of us, you are actually have the option to go on a different path, or whether you consciously choose or not, you belong to one of the paths. Number one is karma yoga. Karma yoga, from the word you can understand, it says part of the action. That is, if I done something bad, then I'm here to balance my wrongdoing in the past in a way. Spiritually, karma yoga or karma means the memory or the reflection of the energy. It's the energy that is being manifest itself. It's not necessarily the common understanding about if I've done something bad, then I shall be punished. It's not in that negative connotation. It's in a way, karma means a way to balance my energy. Very simple. Jhana yoga, I'll talk about it at last. Bhakti. Bhakti yoga means devotional services. Typically, it refers to someone who devotes their life to their spiritual master, to their spiritual leader, to their God, to temple services, to vipassana, to Buddha's teaching, to deities. They live around these ashrams or a spiritual center. They largely offer their services for free, mostly, I'd say. And the third one, I say third because I put jhana on top of the three other paths. Raja Yoga includes all asana practice. So any different kind of a yoga system, it falls below this Raja Yoga system, such as Hatha Yoga, Ayanga, Ashtanga. We have Yin Yoga modern days, Hot Yoga, all number of things, Kundalini, they all falls under Raja Yoga. So all of the physical yoga, whatever that you go to studio, you do yoga teacher training, all of this under the Raja Yoga system. And now it comes to the Jhana Yoga. Jhana Yoga, it says it's the path of the knowledge. And what knowledge? Knowledge about your physical body, emotional body, mental body, and the spiritual body. The spiritual body is the key to ascend from this physical struggle, physical suffering. And for anyone who talks about the yoga, we have to look at the 8 limbs of the yoga system. So different masters coming along all the way through 5,000 years of civilization has developed this system. So whether you practice bhakti yoga or you do yoga asana practice or not, or you have understanding about the jhana system or you meditate or not, you're on karma yoga path. So everyone, because everyone lives a normal life, lives a mundane life, you are practicing cleansing your karma. So this picture highlights the 8 system of yoga. Now, each system precedes the previous one, which means if you advance yama, yama is the 5 principles towards others. The first principle is ahimsa. Ahimsa is the one key principle for Buddhism. Buddhism practice based on 2 key principles. Number 1, is the interdependence of reality. Everything exists, they're co-working together, but they exist on itself. And the second one is not harming others, not just physical, but also verbal, mental, spiritual, not harming others. That's the first principle of yama, how to treat others. Once you master how to treat others, then you master the next niyama, how to treat the self. Purity, be clean, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritually. Contentment, be happy with the self. This is something that we actually do through this therapeutic practice all the time with others. And people are not content. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with my children. I'm not happy with my husband. I'm not happy with my boss. I'm not happy with how much money that I have. All a number of things. We do therapy helping people to find inner peace. Austerity is, I'd say it's quite a controversy concept, I may say, because not everybody needs to practice austerity in order to attain enlightenment. Say Osho is a master, guru in Indian culture. He is globally known, and he had he has the capacity to use 9 Rolls-Royce, this luxury car that's being gifted to him. So it's not a necessary austerity to help one to attain enlightenment, but it's one of the practices that can really help you to cleanse your body and mind. Self-study is the understanding about who I am. And surrender typically refers to following godly practice. Whichever God that you're under, you follow your God and live your life as God teaches you what to do, what not to do. Follow those principles. Once you understand the yama niyama, basically yama niyama is about karma yoga, and then you begin to practice asana. Asana is the physical movement, it's a posture. It's the yogic practice, the studio yoga practice. So all of this Raja yoga is under asana. Pranayama is the breath work. So we begin to bring your awareness to the body, to watch your breath, to do all kind of a breath work to cleanse your energy, to release energy that does not serve you. Once you master your posture, master your mindfulness breathing, then you're ready for pratyahara. Pratyahara simply means restore senses. And from pratyahara, you begin to turning your attention inward. You begin to practice being watchful. You begin to practice the art of staying. And so this gives you a pointed of focus towards the self. You watch inside, you watch what is going on inside you, not external. When you have this level of concentration, your senses will be dropped. Once all the senses dropped, you begin to develop your concentration. Dhanara. Dhanara helps you to be able to sit with yourself. Once Dhanara is here, you are in meditation. Dhyana happens. Some people say, I can't sit, I can't do meditation. I can't even sit for 5 minutes. That means you have not mastered your previous 6 exercise. Your yama niyama is not clear enough. You have a lot of karma that you built with others. You have not done yoga practice, right? Asana. Why do we do yoga? Why do we go to see teachers practice yoga teacher training? Why? Because we are cleansing the body. We're preparing for the body to sit comfortably with the self. So asana needs to be there. Yoga practice needs to be there before you can sit comfortably. Then you practice breath work, cleansing, kriya, kundalini, different kind of yoga, continue to cleanse. Then all the sense organs will drop. You won't feel the body anymore. There would be no more sights, no more sound, no more taste, no more smell. A mosquito bite you is okay because your concentration is inward. You're not attached to the body anymore. All the sense pleasure will drop. You look inside. So once you steadily sit comfortably with yourself, samadhi appears. And there are different levels of samadhi, and we'll talk about that in our next video. The samadhi, simply we will refer here as pure bliss. And samadhi is the beginning of you reaching higher level of realization. And next slide. Okay, my laptop sort of stopped. What do we do with this slide?